L. We are going to talk about Monday, the lunar day, 4/14/9. First and foremost, happy full moon to you guys today. Today we got to experience a full moon in Libra, Virgo energy. In our mindset, bringing us to the space of interpersonal relationships, bonds, and contracts, getting in tune with our emotional self, balancing the law, justice, truth, and righteousness scales, getting in tune with our mayat, whether that's the mayat internally or externally. It depends on, whatever laws, celestial blueprint that you create for yourself. Some of you guys go outward and go into the commandments, something already written by somebody else, somewhere else for whatever reason. And then some of you guys go inward and you create your own celestial blueprint, your own internal law, boundaries, and orders. Whatever works for you, that's what you do. Okay. And the energy exchanges in this space initially was on Virgo, but then eventually moved into Libra, into that space of balance. But initially it was in that space of nurturing home and family organization, scheduling, working on health, your moral and integral code, decision making happening here in this space as well, communication, intellect, crossroads, which deal with, decision making, making your choice, going a certain route, etc., etc. And then eventually, yes, we were in Libra all across the board on tropical, Vedic, and draconic in that space of nurturing home and family. We have reached a checkpoint from new moon to new moon cycle. Very exciting. Feeling a burst of energy in our heart chakra should definitely be like a thing right here in our emotional and material self. Paying attention to your bonds and contracts, the things you guys are signing up for, the things you have signed up for, is also a big thing here in this space and time. Marriage is a big one. I see a few people got proposed to today and yesterday. A few people celebrating their anniversaries. Shouts to Remedy H. I'm a big fan. And peace to him and his empress as they celebrate. I believe it was 17 years. I think the number was 17, and I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. So it's a beautiful time under this Libra full moon, getting in tune with those kind of things going on. I want to talk to you guys about Monday. I know I'm super early, and I usually don't do this until like midnight and stuff like that, but I have some things going on today, so I didn't want to fall out of and not give you guys the things. Hey Akash, hey Raul. Peace to everybody that is tuning in on TikTok, YouTube, and Meet Me. I appreciate y'all. So let's talk about Monday, all right? That is going to be the day of 4/14/9, 1 and 4. We are getting that knowledge, taking action on the one. One is knowledge, the Ketters, the power to be one with all. One is taking action. That's the Aries, taking leadership, Ogun energy, the gut that controls the mind. Everything starts with a thought. 4 is Chesed. Today on this Saturn day, on this day of Sabbath, of rest, but also being of understanding, we were on a day of 1 and 3, which is a karmic debt number, learning how to take action and express what you know. Yeah, pretty much. Having the intellect, of your understanding, taking action on your sense of understanding in a space where everybody wants you to stand under what they're standing under. The analogy I like to give is the school of fish. We're coming out of the age of Pisces, where we have been taught that survival is the herd. You know what I'm saying? Staying with the herd, swimming like all the other fish do, going through the currents that have already been created, being, in that space of alignment. But now coming into the space of Aquarius, it's safe to be your individual self, but still feel that sense of power being connected to the collective, right? So 1 and 3 has become a karmic number because those people who decide to be individuals or be revolutionary or rebellious, as we have seen throughout history, are usually snuffed out. So we come into this space where, now we're and that has created a foundation, because 1 and 3 come together and make 4. This is Chesed. This creates the celestial blueprint of people realizing, like, hey, if you go ahead and be unique and be different and go against the grain, something might happen to you. So we're coming out of that mindset. We're coming out of that intellect, right? So on this day of 1 and 4, which we will be experiencing on Monday, we come on the knowledge and the intellect and taking action on, that sense of Chesed, the divine blueprint, the Maya energy that we established today on this day of Saturn. Hey King David, how you doing, love? 4 also, like I said, deals with Chesed, Maya. 4 also deals with home and family in this space, we're dealing with nurturing, how you nurture others, how you like to be nurtured. We're dealing with um, we're dealing with our feminine energy. We're dealing with sense of belonging, taking action on your sense of belonging, where you want to belong, where you want to be. Having that intellect on what you require to feel nurtured and how you like to nurture others, and actually taking action on it. You know what I'm saying? That's all 1 and 4. And once we put the 1 and 4 together, it comes into a space of 5. So now we're enforcing all that intellect. You know, we're taking action. You know, we have the divine blueprint. We know about it. We know about our internal law, what it is. And now we're coming in a space of taking action and enforcing it. You know, 5 deals with Ogu and Aries energy, and the Sephiroth, as well as the Tree of Life. Now we're in Herakuhuti. Um, 5 also deals with Leo energy, right? Leo rules over the 5th house. This is, you know, your confident and courageousness, your inner child, your creative self. You know, Leo is associated with the sun, anything, you know, and the sun is to be experienced, right? Except for that dark place over there, Simba. So we're dealing with that space right now of experiencing and, you know, going through the space as in our childlike self, right? So we take that 5 of celestial enforcer and we're going to put it into the month of 4. This is the month of Chesed, right? This is the month of coming to the divine blueprint of what it is that we want, what we're creating. It's fun here. We love it here. This is the month of Mayat, which is cool because we started the month off in Pisces energy on the tropical Vedic and draconic chart. Well, actually more so the Vedic chart. We started the month off in Pisces energy, and so we keep, you know, flowing through this. You know, tomorrow, well, today is actually our last day of the sun being in Pisces constellation, and we'll get into that in a moment. Right now we're in the numbers, which is pretty cool that Monday is going to be 5. Okay, give me a moment. So, you know, this is the month of Chesed, creating the divine blueprint, dealing with things that are beneath the horizon and our subconscious and our dreamy self. You know, that Chesed, that mercy, that grace. We're all up in the 4s. 4s is nurturing, you know, the Cancer energy. And then, you know, focusing on all the things that have been in the 4th house. If you guys have been paying attention, all these celestial lineups that we've been experiencing in Pisces energy are in the 4th house. So that's a divine alignment. Being in a month of 4, really putting that into perspective, really putting that on the spotlight, that our sun has been sitting in the 4th house and Pisces, you know, giving us that experience of finding a divine blueprint in our space of nurturing and our sense of belonging, right? Also coming to a sense of endings, because Pisces deals with endings and closings, right? Ruling over the 12th house. Dealing with endings and closings on our certain things that used to nurture us that don't, you know, serve us anymore, or coming into a sense of closing of places that we felt like we used to belong. We probably don't feel like we belong there anymore. You know what I'm saying? Coming in, and that's preparing us for the Aries energy of new beginnings, right? So we're going to take this 5 of enforcement, put it in the month of 4 of the celestial blueprint, brings us to 9. So we're giving birth to things tomorrow, and that's cool. We're giving, you know, 9 deals with Yesod. This is born in the supreme mathematics. This is creation. This is full circle, full, you know, everything. There's no number greater than 9. 9 also deals with Sagittarius energy of expansion, abundance, joy, optimism, you know, and we're traveling and we're going places and we're doing things, and we love to give birth on this energy of 9. So may 9, you know, tomorrow be a nice big awakening for you guys, walking yourself into this new space of things. With the 9, we're going to put that into the year of 9, of course, because of course we want to put Yesod with Yesod. So tomorrow's like a big thing for manifesting, because, you know, overall 9 and 9 come together and make 1 and 8, right? And so you're like, hey, you know, universe, Yesod, the celestial womb, we want to give birth to this 9 that we created with a 4 and a 5, you know, enforcing our celestial blueprint, you know. And then, you know, the 9 is like, okay, cool, but you have to work on your 1 and 8. Well, what's 1 and 8? 1 and 8 is your internal and external solar plexus chakra. You have to work on listening to your gut and taking action and creating the transformations that need to happen from listening to your gut, right? That's how you're going to give birth to the things. So between the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra, those are the 2 big chakras to focus on Monday. I'm telling you right now. And also focus on that 4th house, the moon energy, that sense of belonging. That's the big energy there. So Monday is a day of 9. We love it here because 9 is ruled by Cancer energy, which is Yesod and the Tree of Life, right? First thing in the morning, we start the day off with a 99% wand and gibbous moon. We are now in that moon of cleansing. We're cleansing tangible things out of our space. We will be in tropically Scorpio. We're starting the day in Scorpio, transformations, empowerment, all that fun stuff happening in our sense of home and family. So peace to you guys as you guys engage in the transformations happening here. As I speak to you guys, I feel like I made some decisions, and I won't say I feel like I didn't make the best decision. I feel like I'm about to be repeating some patterns because I didn't make a certain decision. And that is going to be very interesting what that turns into because I didn't make certain decisions. But it is what it is. There's just certain things that I want to get in order because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And I will see it next cycle around, right? Lord willing. Right? Let's see. So yeah, we are tropically in Scorpio. Vedically, we are in Libra energy. And draconic, we are also in Scorpio. So mind and soul. Hey, peace, Maya. Hey, Sirius. Hey, Akash. So mind and soul is in that transformations and empowerment when it comes to nurturing and sense of belonging. The actual events of home and family, things are coming to that space of balance. So we'll still have that moon providing us with the interpersonal relationships, the bonds and the contracts, and finding that balance between the internal, external self, the material and the emotional, energy exchanges and fun things like that. It's all happening in the 11th house. So this is our space of society, revolutionary self. So you might find some, even more transformations pushing you into that space of rebellion. And we love it here. Sunrise at 6:22 a.m., setting at 7:37 p.m. Tropically and draconic, we are in Aries. We start the day off at that 29 degree of Pisces, but as the day goes on, we will be entering Aries energy. Yay! But mind and soul are on those new beginnings. Opening the doors and the windows and all the things of that nature while we're, finishing up those last little bits and pieces, degrees of Pisces, of being subconscious, being dreamy, utilizing your imagination and stuff before it's time to start taking action. And we love it here. And you probably start to feel like that desire to take action on some things that you've been imagining, like, okay, now it's time to go ahead and make those moves. It's time to start, moving this around, doing this, working for this, achieving that, reaching for this. So cool for you guys. Again, this is happening in the fourth house. Our sense of home and family and belonging is on the forefront this year, in our experiences. A lot of you guys are experiencing heavy new beginnings in your home and family and your sense of belonging and the places and people and businesses and entities and organizations and all this stuff that you felt comfortable in. The discomfort is increasing more and more. And you can, ignore it, but the more you ignore it, the louder it's going to be, especially if it's not in alignment with the kind of life that you're saying that you want. So, if it's, listen to your gut. That's a big thing in that too. Listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, listen to your emotional self and where it's telling you should be, right? That's definitely like a big key with the sun giving us these fourth house experiences. The moon in Zubin Al Janubi will be in minimal angle at 3:43 p.m. on Monday. The moon will be 4.4 degrees south-southwest. Conjunction at 5:55 p.m. The moon will be 4.7 degrees south. And we'll be able to observe that at 9:53 p.m. with a 5.9 degrees south-southeast separation. So this is between the Libra scale and the Scorpio claw here is where the moon will be. And this can show a bit of malice, a little bit of friction, resilience here. It can be sometimes associated with disgrace and things. But it's the mirror that we need through the Scorpio waters, what I'm saying, or the visualization of the Libra scales that we need, the Oba scales, that we need to make sound decisions. Not everything is all pretty, what I'm saying. Sometimes we have to be shown, we have to have our eyes like gapped open to show us like, it's been bullshit lately, fix it. You know what I'm saying? So Be mindful of that when you're experiencing that with the moon, especially when you're utilizing today and you utilize yesterday's Libra pink moon energy to really like manifest what it is that you want and you desire and you deserve, right? And really allow yourself to flow through the different experiences that are going to push you into those things that you're speaking into existence, because they will. And for some of you guys, it got to show you in ways of discomfort for you to listen. And some of you guys have found so much comfort in discomfort, I don't know how it's going to show you. It's just going to have to take it away. It's going to have to snatch whatever it is away from you to where you have no choice. The sun enters Aries Constellation tomorrow at 1:25 p.m., which is super cool because now we have the sun in Aries on the tropical, Vedic, and draconic chart. Like I told you, tomorrow is a day of 9. We're manifesting it. So tomorrow's like a date of 5, which is the celestial enforcer, with that 1 and 4 being a 14th. So we're enforcing things. We're taking action. We're feeling motivated, assertive, aggressive. The physical stamina is there. It's wonderful. We love it here. And then overall, using that 5 is going to bring us into 3 9s, between 5 and 4, the day and the month. And then putting that 9 into, we automatically always have a year of 9. We're in the year of 9. And then 9 and 9, it brings us to, 9 again after we do that solar plexus chakra work with the 1 and 8, which is synonymous with the number 5, because 5 is related to the solar plexus chakra in the terms of the Sephiro or the Netarus, whether you look at it as Herakahuti or you look at it as Jabora, doesn't matter. It's still the solar plexus chakra. So like I said, tomorrow is a heavy solar plexus sacral chakra day, like that orange, yellow, rose gold, like heavy between those colors, as the sun gives us these experiences of new beginnings. So a lot of things that you guys have been imagining and putting forth and saying that you want and this, that, and the third, it'll start coming to you. You'll start taking action towards it. It'll be very swift because fire moves really quick, and Aries is a cardinal fire energy at that. So it's the initiative, it's the trigger, right? So a lot of triggers happening to put you in a space of, you have to enforce, you have to act, you have to be assertive, you have to listen to your gut. It's going to call on some of you guys to have some quick decision making skills. But we take a breath. What I'm saying, I know that's a lot. It's a lot because we just got out of some retrogrades. It's like, dang, I was just slow as hell in Mercury and Venus, and now I gotta hurry up and woo 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 woo. And it's like, it's okay, relax. Mercury and Venus is over there in Pisces, so they still like a little slow. So it might feel like you're getting hit the next couple days between the 14th and the 15th as we flow into the 16th. But take a breath, because then the sun will enter draconic Taurus energy on the 16th, and then of course on the 20th the sun will enter tropical Taurus. So our mind and our spirit will be slowed down tremendously, but our energy exchanges and the actions and stuff will be on that hot ass Aries energy. But that Aries energy is not for what's happening in Taurus on your mind and spirit. That Aries energy is for what you were manifesting during all this Pisces energy that we was just in between the tropical, Vedic, and draconic. So I won't say move backwards, but kind of have like that Sankofa vibe when dealing with this Aries energy. It's not so much as taking on the new things, because you're going to deal with the Taurus, the Taurus vibrations when you get to Gemini. You know what I'm saying? Right? 2, 3, yeah. You'll get to deal with Taurus when you go into Gemini, and now your mind and your spirit is so quick, and now it's making up for the lost, slow and steady stuff you were doing in Taurus. So, don't get too caught up in that. Just know, like, your mind is on materializing things, your spirit is on materializing things, formulating things, and your energy is on taking action. And what is it doing? It's being based upon what you were imagining and you were dreaming about, and you put into your vortex during Pisces season. That's how you play the Magician card with this energy, okay? And it's gonna be okay. But for the next 2 days, we're in that Aries, taking action. I know all day long I'm in my head like, yeah, I'm going to start going to the gym tomorrow. And it just been on repeat, like, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to the gym. And it's funny because a couple days ago, I was like on the phone with my girls. You guys know I've been trying to get this RV situation, woo-wop. And my solar plexus chakra has not been in alignment with a lot of the different opportunities that's been coming my way. And so now after a whole bunch of whoopsies, now I feel more confident in my solar plexus chakra about certain things, but I also have knowledge in that I need, I need assistance. Like, I'm not doing this by myself. Like, I need someone that's going to help me, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to speak that into existence in my space. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because I was telling my homegirls, I'm like, there's some parking spaces out here in this area where I'm at right now where I feel comfortable if I do go get a used Facebook Marketplace, y'all. I love it there. I do get a used RV off of Facebook Marketplace and I fix it up or whatever. It's some spaces out here where I can park it. Then lo and behold, I wake up this morning and the main place where I said I was going to park it at before I get like paperwork in order, because like I'm still trying to learn about the bonds and the contracts with, you know, the DMV and all that stuff like that being, sovereign or private or whatever, but I still don't want nobody to take my shit while I'm sleeping. So I'm trying to figure out how to fight that. But I don't really like arbitration and all that. Like I'm not interested in any of that shit. That's not the reality I want to live. So I'm just gonna I'm like, yeah, I could park it in the back of the house. And then I wake up and there's a fucking boat back there. And I'm like, I'm not upset that somebody is in the space, but it's kind of like more so like, oh, that's confirmation that that move that I wanted to make is actually okay. So when that boat moves, that's where my RV's going to be at least until I get the paperwork right to do, what it is that I really want to do. Now that I feel, a bit more confident to do it. You know what I mean? In what way, mental or spiritually, do you seek assistance? I think it's mentally. I think that for me, like I'm a very like intellectual person and I see everything as puzzle pieces. And I think it's kind of like how. That was the question that kept coming up to. How. And when I did have the funds to purchase the RV, it was like you know how you put the puzzle together, but then there's like a bunch of missing pieces in the middle, and it's like, God damn it. How am I going to get these puzzle pieces in the middle? Like, if it is a broken down RV and stuff like that, like how am I going to have it set up somewhere to where nobody's bothering me? Because I don't really have like a private yard or anything. Like, how am I going to transport it? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And then instead of letting those be like small things, I made them big. And I made them stop me from doing anything at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't get all the hows at once, so I'm not going to do anything. And that's one of my issues. It's the perfectionism. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to have all the hows in order, and if all the hows are not in order, then I don't want it right now. And I have to stop doing that because it sabotages my ability to even take step one towards something. And I do that with a lot of things. I've done that with my books. I've done that with these podcasts, I've done that with my music. I do that with a lot of things. Like, if it's not all the way together, I kind of like sabotage it, and it doesn't get started at all. And it's just like, I'm growing out of that. I'm fixing it. I'm aware, awareness is key. But I feel more confident now that I'm, coming into that sense of awareness, and I'm trying to forgive myself because I did have enough keys to actually get started and just figure out the rest as I go along. But yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just has to be what it is. So yeah, that is the numerological, astrological, astronomical report. To let you guys know what nakshatra or lunar mansion that our moon will be in. I applaud your transparency, and that's understood. Well, I'm willing to help in whatever you're hoping to achieve. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have to be I'm learning to be transparent. That's another, thing I'm battling, because I've had experiences where I've been transparent with people and they utilize that information to try to hurt my feelings. And that was during a period of time where I was actually sensitive about things like that. And so now it doesn't bother me anymore. So it's easier to be transparent now. Now I just don't care. Like, you could try to, do those things, and it's not going to do anything for me anymore. So we are in the Swati nakshatra, which is the 15th nakshatra with 15th lunar mansion. We're here till 20 degrees Libra. So by the end of Monday, we'll be in the 16th nakshatra. But we talked about this one yesterday, being flexible, adaptable, and having personal freedom. It is represented by the deity Vayu, which is the god of the wind. Aesthetics, artistic, social qualities are key here. This nakshatra is ruled by Venus, so we have, well, Venus rules over Libra, of course. So it's heavy in the Venusian energy of having balance and harmony and focusing on your interpersonal relationships. The ruling energy over this nakshatra is actually Rahu, which is the North Node, which brings a dynamic, transformative, and unpredictable quality, because when we're in our Rahu, our North Node, or we're focused on our North Node, you don't really see what's coming. That's why your South Node is your comfort zone, because you already know what's going on there. You already know the cycles there. But when we go into the Rahu, not so much. And so, for a lot of people, this is why when you're looking at the North Node and the South Node, you'll notice that they go in retrograde a lot, like every other day or so, because, it you take a step, you get scared because it's dark and you don't know what's next, so you retreat, you go back, you know what I'm saying? So that's the back and forth between the Rahu and the Ketu. Now when the moon is in this nakshatra, there's a strong desire to break free from restrictions, whether personal, social, or professional. This is a time when people may feel a need to follow their own path, explore new avenues, or assert their independence. Okay, individuals can be more adaptable and open for change here. So by the end of Monday, we'll be in the Visakha nakshatra, which is the 16th one, and that goes from 20 degrees Libra to 3 degrees Scorpio. Now remember, we're talking about the constellations, not the zodiac. The zodiac is a whole different 360, y'all. The constellations don't even move in a 360 like that. Is ruled by Jupiter. So now we're moving from that Rahu, that North Node energy, to Jupiter, that space of expansion. And it's associated with the deities Indra, which is the king of gods, and Agni, which is the god of fire. This brings on that space of balance, relationships, harmony. We know Scorpio energy, which is the constellation we move into, ruled by Mars, which represents transformation, passion, and deep emotional intensity, right? While Libra energy brings the balance of the diplomacy and the determination. So feeling things deeply on the Monday, on a day ruled by the moon, is to be expected, especially as we go into that waning gibbous moon and we're coming out of that buildup from the waxing and we're starting to come to the breakdown. So a lot of transformations are going to be removing things from your space tomorrow, especially in your space of comfort. So be careful with how you choose to internalize that, because remember, you're going to be in the very last degrees of Pisces, of imagination, and that's setting the tone for the very last degrees of Taurus and what you attract in that Venusian vortex. With the moon being in this nakshatra, there's a drive for success, strong emotional pull towards achieving your goals and fulfilling your ambitions could be very heavy here on Monday. This is a time of success and being deeply emotional and personal. Like the success now, the achievements is personal now. It's not about this person and that person and proving this or doing that. Now it's like, this is about me, for me, and how I want to feel. And it's very powerful. Like I can't shake. It's like deep, like this is how I want to feel. This is how I feel. I think about, what was his name? John Proctor, when his voice got real deep and he was like, it is my name. Like, feel this shit. I'm not about to fuck up my name messing with y'all. This is personal. So that's happening there. Now on the Hebrew calendar, we are in the energy of Nisan. This is Aries vibe, new beginnings. We're dealing with the Easter, the Passover, the freeing of the Israelites or the slaves from Egypt. Monday is Yom Shini, which is the second day. In the second day of creation, God separated the waters, which is Genesis 1:6-8. And unlike the other days of creation, the second day is not directly associated with a blessing in the Torah. It is a day of separation, division, and symbolizing the idea of differentiation and balance in the world. I'm going to get back into reading the Sefer Yetzirah with y'all. I know I am like constantly going through transformations right now and trying to find my grounding with a schedule. And that's another space I find myself like overindulging in things that don't matter because they're easier to think about. And so we're gonna stop with the sabotage. Especially, I'm getting out of Pisces energy. Give me grace. I'm like, you know, heavy Virgo energy here. Pisces does something to me, but we're coming into fire. We love it here. It's gonna be different. I got it. I got it. I'm getting it. In the Hindu calendar, we know the nakshatras that our moon is in. We know that we are in the season of Mesh. On the tropical, Vedic, and draconic chart, especially starting Monday. Where is it? Oh, Mesha. And, excuse me, we're on the day of Lord Shiva. Is the planet moon. Yeah, Leo gang, 82288. Hey, I like your numbers. I am a Virgo. Lord Shiva, I'm a Leo rising though. Lord Shiva is the destroyer and transformer in the Hindu trinity, which is the Trimurti. He's also associated with meditation, asceticism, dance, and the destruction of the ego. The moon, which governs the emotions and the mind, is linked to Lord Shiva, who is both compassionate and a terrifying god of the regeneration and transcendence. So, Mondays are dedicated to worshiping Lord Shiva, and many devotees observe fasting and special rituals on this day, chanting mantras like the Om Nama Shivaya or Shiva Sahasranama is considered auspicious for seeking blessings of spiritual growth, mental peace, and liberation. So all that's happening there like that. Um, Getting into that space of regeneration is heavier, especially as we move from waxing to waning and on the Scorpio moon at that. So this is a great time to get into that space of regeneration. Pulling the death card heavy here, right? And so, getting into the season of Mesha on the Hindu calendar, of course, this is Mars, this is fire. The traits are energetic, courageous, adventurous, and impulsive. Those born under Mesha are often natural leaders and take initiative and enjoy taking risks. We're here till the 19th, if you go by like the tropical chart. This is the god of war. Mars is a powerful and energetic deity associated with courage, aggression, and assertiveness. And then we'll be in the bull energy next, moving slow and steady. So that is the Hebrew calendar. That is the Hindu horoscope, ancient Kemetic horoscope. We are in the month of Pamanat. No, I lied. Pakans, because this is the actually the last month of the season of Peret, which is flooding. We're usually in flooding from January to May. Shemu, which is the harvest season, starts in late May. So enjoy the last month of, the flooding, all the showers and the rain and, the rising of the Nile or the Mississippi, depends on what part of the hemisphere you're on. As above, so is below, as within, so is without, as in the east, so is the west. We're all reflections, it's all parallel universes. So we move in gratitude that we get the experiences upside down, inside out, and some people are still trying to figure it out, and that's cool. If you look at your body, your feet and your hands are the same. This part is the same as your reproductive self. When you look at your gut, it's the same way as you look at your brain and the nodes and the directions and stuff. And you look at your throat looks like your reproductive parts, and so on and so forth. And then, in the Sefer Yetzirah, we learned that people are kind of like in a downward dog type of position when they pray and meditate, because they're kind of like putting their upper self in alignment with their lower self. You notice you could look at you look at your hands and see, your connections. You could rub your feet and rub all the different, parts of your insides. You can look at someone's eyes and be able to diagnose the things inside. Look at someone's ears, tongue, so on and so forth, because we're in the upside down, inside out, east and west, north is south. It's all like one, but it's still expanded. So we have this mindset where we've learned from the eighth sphere or the eighth Sephiroth to separate and categorize and put everything in a certain kind of box. And this is the eye, and this is the nose, and the head is the head, and the tail is the tail. But when we come back into, our meditative state, you know, some of us claim to be to the chokma, which is the second sephira, which is very difficult to get to. Some people don't get past the third sephira, which is bina, and I can tell because when they're meditating, they still come down and give us discipline, order, restrictions, and limitations. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But once you get to the space of Chokma, you do see how everything is like this, and there's actually not much order of anything at all. Everything is nothing and nothing is everything. And if that doesn't make sense to you and you can't correlate or take a picture of that in your head or whatever, then you are still in that third sephira of being of understanding, which is perfectly fine because we're in this physical place where that is normal and acceptable, and that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, that's that there. So that is the month that we're in the ancient Kemetic calendar. Where is my coming into where we are at for the other things in all my notebooks. I have so many notebooks, it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. We're in Thoth still. We're in Thoth till the 19th of April. This is the god of learning and wisdom, and we love it here, being wise, energetic, and inventable, practical. Okay, so enjoy Thoth, and then we enter Horus next. So that's where we're at on the ancient Kemetic calendar, and then we get into we are in the year of gold, being in the year of 9 when we get into the alchemist horoscope, this being passionate, interesting, and faithful. We are in the West African horoscope. We are in, why do you keep calling me? We are in the Falcon, having strength, being, oh, this is the Native American horoscope, my bad. But since I'm here, let's read it. Strength, great observers, never missing out on anything and never losing the ability to see things as a whole. Always having your way and being brave. In the West African horoscope, which is what I initially intended to do, where is the page? Hold on, y'all. Oh, there we go. We're in love every day from April 5th to May 4th. Always know what to do and how to do it. Wisdom to be right, and they know which way the wind blows. Witty and helpful, reliable, good advisor, and must learn how to say no. Learn how to say no this season. In the Druid or the Celtic calendar, we are entering our last day of the Elder, so I definitely have to update my notes. Being the trailblazer, romantic, brave, and generous, natural born leader, being a mover, fiery, passionate, and self-motivating. This tree helps you face things that you have been avoiding. The fox is the Druid or Celtic animal association, being stealthy, sincere, and sexual. You guys already know in the Chinese horoscope we're under the energy of the wood snake, right? A period of transformation, being creative, having wisdom, unpredictability, flexibility, and diplomacy are keys here. Opportunities amongst the challenges, physical vitality, and passion, right? And we love it there too. So those are all the horoscopes. Horoscopes are, you know, essentially over like cultures and periods of time have been how we use the stars and the flow of nature to tell time for us, right? Everybody has a clock. Everything has a clock. The trees have the clocks. The trees have clocks. The animals have clocks. The flowers have clocks. The moon has a clock. The sun has a clock. The planets have the clocks. You have the clocks. And that's the power of learning about your personal planets, is learning about your own internal clock and how your internal clock is interacting with the clocks around you, right? I got into this heavy, you know, once upon a time, and my astrology masterclass is coming back, y'all. So make sure you guys tune into that as I break down your internal clock and how you can align your internal clock with the clocks around you. It's very interesting information. It'll help you come into the realization as to why like your energy feels certain type of way, while some of you guys are more winter. And so when we're in the summer, that's not really your time, even though you would love it to be because it's hot outside. And vice versa. Getting into the planetary hour of things, and I'm gonna read y'all out. So we'll start with, we did the Saturn day, and I did not pencil anything in. So the moon is 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. 12 a.m. to 1 a.m., 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., and then 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. are the hours of the moon. Moon is a good time for home and family, nurturing, getting in tune with your emotional, intuitive self. We know that the moon is sitting over there in Scorpio, Libra energy, providing us with transformations that are going to balance our interpersonal relationships, bonds, and contracts. Also, empowering relationships and learning the truth and having a sense of empowering justice is definitely key here for our emotional self and our home and family. And thank you. The hours of Saturn are from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., and 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Saturn gives us the challenges that we need to give us the discipline that we desire, right? Boundaries. We deal with long-term planning here, focusing on the different things, the missing puzzle pieces. But let's not over-focus. I have a lot of Capricorn placements too. But yeah, Saturn is for that long-term planning and dealing with the challenges in that space. And Jupiter comes right after and gives you the expansion and the wisdom and the optimism and the generosity and all that stuff that you need to deal with Saturn, right? Saturn's hours are from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., and then 11 p.m. to midnight. Jupiter also deals with long-term planning and spaces of business, dealing with your sacral chakra, your creative, sensual, sexual self, your space of joy, dealing with your five senses and how you engage in them. That's all Jupiter energy. Now, Mars hours, since Mars seems to be the energy of the hours, the sun goes into it. Mars deals with your assertive, aggressive self, your energy field, your triggers, your motivations, your solar plexus chakra. Listen to your gut. During the hours of Mars might be a great time to do some fasting or intentionally breaking fast with certain type of things you drink or eat or whatever, taking vitamins. I don't fucking know. But during this period of time, oh yeah, even fire like meditation could be cool for the hours of Mars and Jupiter. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Mars is for that solar plexus chakra energy. Mars hours are from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., and then midnight. Of course, we start Tuesday on the Mars hour. The sun deals with vitality and energy, your experiences, your masculine self, and how you interact with the masculine energy around you. The sun's hours are, we know the sun is over there in Aries, right? And it will be soon in tropical Vedic and draconic. New beginnings, energy, motivation, triggers, aggression, assertiveness. So be mindful when communicating or having energy exchange with other people. Some people, especially air energy, what I'm saying, that fire and air, they might be very assertive, aggressive, having very difficult realities in the moment. So, give them grace. Our fixed signs might be dealing with some things too, as they like to be fixed in their stuff, especially people that have heavy placements around their south node. And now the sun is like, no experiences. Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck? So just give them grace as they're going through those things. Um, did I give you the hours already? Did I say the sun's hours? 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. are the hours of the sun. My apologies if I did not. Um, Venus is next. Venus hours deal with creativity and making things all pretty and beautiful, prioritizing. And we get into finances and love and forgiveness, emotional connections. You might want to get into a space where um, if you have a significant other or somebody you're interested in, that's a good time to reach out to them and say, hey, boo, I'm thinking about you. If you guys create anything in the realms of fashion, you paint, gardening, these are great hours to do that as well. Venus hours are from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., 12, what is it? Yeah. 5 a.m. 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., and then 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. are great Venusian hours. Those are the Venusian hours. And for those of you guys that's like, where do you get this information from? It's the Chaldean order of the clock. And of course, it goes by the main seven planets because the outer planets, the planets outside of the seven, technically, historically, whoever wrote the book said it wasn't discovered yet until William Herschel came around and started doing stuff. Then all of a sudden, now we have, Uranus on the 8, Neptune, Pluto, sometimes I don't know what the beef is with Pluto. Sometimes we like Pluto, sometimes we don't. I don't fucking know. And sometimes I feel like we treat asteroids way better than we do Pluto. And I'm like, y'all better watch out because it's gonna be one time Pluto get real close and be like, all right, I heard y'all talking shit. Talking about I ain't no planet. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Um, Mercury's hours. Mercury is good for communication and traveling. Also, if you guys are into trading, which is something else I've been wanting to get back into. I don't know why, which is like, dang, I want to start trading again too. So much stuff that I want to do. That ain't nobody but Aries. Like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to go here. I want to have that. I need to work towards this. But I'm gonna stay focused. I'm starting to create some type of routine for myself to sit in during Taurus energy as I materialize my Pisces stuff. So it's fun here. And I'm glad I now have the energy to do so because I've been sleepy as shit. Pisces be making me so tired. I be out. But anyway, coming back to Mercury. Mercury's great for communication, decision making. If you want to study something or if you like podcasts and you want to teach something, all that fun stuff, Mercury hours are great hours to do that. Mercury's hours on Monday are from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., and then 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And that's what I have for you guys on the planetary hours. So the vibe for Monday is nurture. We are going to focus on lemon balm. I love lemon balm. I love the way it smells. I like the way I feel when I'm smelling it. It's like an open chest situation. It does feel like Aries energy, like lemon and grass. Lemon balm. It's fun there. Nurturing yourself. We have the goddess here. She has a bee around her. So queen bee energy, bees, flowers. As we come into this new year. Happy New Year, y'all. She's all like, yeah, I love it here. It's the halo around her. We have Ceres, which is agriculture. So tap into your Ceres placement. And we have Jupiter, which is expansion and abundance and joy. So we're expanding on it. You know what? It's been crazy too. The last few nights in my dreams have been always been like random ass animals. Like I've been really focused on my dog lately because my dog is going through some things. And but you know, my dog has been in my dreams too. We're chilling. Because I've been trying to like, project myself over there into his dreams on some SpongeBob shit. But I've been like dreaming of like rabbits and cats all the time, rabbits and cats. Mostly black cats or gray cats, and the rabbits, yeah, black and gray. But yeah, rabbits and cats have been a big thing, and then birds. Birds sometimes have been a thing, and then when I go outside and I look in the back porch, it's always like a different color bird or some like a bird that sticks out, and then the other birds are like gray or whatever. The other birds are probably like dope ass colors. My eyeballs just can't compute and shit, so they just look like regular gray birds to me and shit. And wouldn't that suck? Like it's just like this different spectrum of color that we can't see, and so it just makes everything look gray and blah. That's so lame. But yeah, expansion and abundance on what you're trying to fertilize, what you're trying to create. We're nurturing the things. This is what I was talking about. So as we come into the Aries constellation, we have all this vitality and this energy and this assertiveness and this motivation. That's not for new stuff. That's for the things that you were subconsciously dreaming about and imagining and pulling into your vortex during the Pisces placements. Okay. And your mind and your spirit is on Taurus, is providing you the opportunities and that balance between the material and the emotional realm to get it done. So, do the work, my slow and steady in that space, because once the sun enters Taurus constellation next month around this time, like around, it actually like the transition happened pretty early this month, because usually, well, it's probably because of February. February's missing a few days, right? Because usually the transition is around the 17th, and then we have the 20th being the zodiac transition. But yeah, like I said, it's probably because we missed a few days in February. But yeah, so once we have the sun entering towards energy, the material things that you guys have been working towards in your space during the Aries constellation energy, it's gonna line up. So right now we're in a space of nurturing. Nurturing, especially on the moon. The moon is all about nurturing. And to expand on it, we are in a Seven of Cups, getting the riches. So you see down here, it was the Pisces, right? The imagining and the magic. Now it's here in the materializing and the formation of the things, right? We do have a reverse Six of Pentacles. So slow and steady here. Slow and steady. We are still moving against some blockages, but focusing on your daily routine here in this space of harvest. Um, like I said, slow and steady. Because like I said, when we get into the physical Taurus, that's when, for those of you guys who are into agriculture, that's when the fruit really starts coming. You know what I'm saying? So just take a break, take a breath. Then we have what parts of self to focus on. You want to focus on Seven of Swords, which is, the spiritual intellect. Netzach, which is the celestial designer. That's the Venusian energy. Moon in Aquarius, so nurturing from society, how you nurture society, that revolutionary energy, being unique and an individual in that space. Hold on a second, drop my card. But yeah, that's that there. Also focus on your throat chakra. Be mindful of vanity. Trying to be the center of the show. Like, look, I got this magic. I can do this. I can do that. Da, 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 da. Don't be that guy. We know you're spiritual. We know you have spiritual gifts. We know that you're a gardener. We know you're a herbalist. We know that you can predict things. We know what you're good at. And it's okay to, like, moving your authenticity and what you're good at. But be mindful of communicating, from a sense of vanity. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how stuff gets ripped from you. If you don't know nothing about a Taurus experience, when Taurian energy gets too imbalanced in the material realm of things, that material shit gets snatched up real quick. And if the Taurus energy gets too concerned with the emotional part of things, that material shit still gets snatched up real quick. So be mindful of it. Also being too engulfed in the material realm does have like emotional conflictions and stuff, right? Like that. And you guys know that, right? Wherever your Taurus is, your heart, it affects your one-on-one relationships, your Libra. It how you obtain and maintain those physical things. The Taurus energy is how your law, justice, truth, and righteousness is exhibited in that Libra. That's the balance of the internal external side of Venus, of the heart chakra, right? Need to plan. Have a plan. Like me with my puzzle pieces. Just don't get too caught up at the play. You got to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But yes, definitely have a plan. That's definitely key here in that space of nurturing. When we plant things, you don't just plant anything anywhere, because what you want to do is, certain plants can't grow near each other, right? Certain plants suffocate each other from having water. Certain plants suffocate each other from having proper sunlight. All those different things like that. So, keeping that in mind when you're planning things, when you're organizing and having a sense of like prioritize. That's what Taurus brings to your brain. What do you prioritize? What do you value? No two things can stay in the same place at the same time. So you have to have an order of operations of how you're going to do what you're going to do and when you're going to do it, type thing. And then also trust the universe to do some things too. But that's what I have for you guys. Nurture your garden. Water your garden, no need to brag about your garden, but nurture it, water it, gain the intellect that you need to have, connect your emotions with it, your spirit, all that fun stuff. And we love it here. That's what I have for you today, my cosmic nobodies. I hope you guys enjoy this beautiful lunar day. I definitely know I will. Definitely had some introspection while sitting here talking to you guys. I appreciate you guys for accepting my transparency through it all. It was a decision that I was supposed to make for tomorrow initially, but then other things kind of, I was going to make a move tomorrow. I was going to move out of state tomorrow initially, but then somebody else was like, it'll be an inconvenience to me if you move tomorrow because I have plans for tomorrow. And I was like, oh shit. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to get in the way of your plans. And so I moved my move date for a different day. And then I decided to just postpone the move altogether because I'm like, there's something else that I really want to do more than anything, and that's get to my land. You know what I'm saying? I want to live on my land. I want a sense of freedom that I'm looking for, and I just felt like if I made this move, it would get in the way of that, and I wouldn't be able to really get myself together how I want to. if I did that right now. And it just didn't feel right in my spirit. And you know what I say about following your gut. You should follow your gut. And I just, I can't ignore my gut because then I start getting irritable and it keeps replaying in my head. Do I think I made the best decision? Probably not. I don't think I did the best thing. I think there was probably something else I could have done. Um, but I'm here now and it's still kind of flowing and the plan that I have for myself because I already said I'm gonna be on my lane by September. Like the summer is going to be a great time of just flowing and growing, but by September I want to be grounded on my land and taking a breath there and just figuring out what the winter is going to be like for me. But I know the winter ain't going to be the fuck over here. You feel me? Like I'm not going to focus on what I don't want, but I know what I do want. I want to be away from here. Um so yeah, happy New Year's, you guys. Happy full moon. Enjoy this Libra moon. Enjoy Aries sun tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow evening for Tuesday's astrological, numerological, astronomical report. Peace, peace, y'all. Bye. See you later.